Let's be real, e-learning has totally changed the game for how we learn, how we work, pretty much how we do anything. These digital platforms are everywhere, and they are incredibly powerful. But there's a catch, a huge puzzle hidden inside all that tech. And today, we're going to crack it. So here's the big question, right? We're all swimming in this sea of online courses and digital classrooms. But what's the secret sauce? What's that one thing that makes it all click and actually work? Well, let's dive in and find out. First up, let's talk about the incredible promise of the digital classroom. I mean, the potential is just massive. Okay, so what are we even talking about when we say e-learning platform? Think of it as a complete school, just online. It's this whole digital world that delivers the lessons, lets you talk to your teachers and classmates, and handles the entire process from start to finish. The best part? It completely shatters the old rules about time and place. And these platforms pretty much all share 4 core features. First, you've got flexibility. You can literally learn anytime, anywhere. Then there's interactivity. You're not just a fly on the wall, you're engaging with quizzes, forums, all that good stuff. They use rich media, which means video, audio, text, whatever works best for you. And maybe the most important part, tracking and evaluation, giving you instant feedback so you always know how you're doing. It's a really powerful setup. But here's the thing, all that power, it's a real double-edged sword for us, the learners. And this is where we see that central conflict play out. On the one hand, heck yeah, you're building autonomy, you're boosting your confidence with every little win. But the flip side is just as real. That same independence can feel really isolating. It requires a ton of self-discipline. And that amazing ability to learn anytime, yeah, that can very quickly become learning no time. We've all been there. And that brings us right to the heart of the problem. You can have the fanciest platform in the world, but as one source puts it, motivation is the fuel of learning. If you don't have that fuel, the whole engine just stalls out. So, how do we keep the tank full? Well, it turns out the answer lies in cracking the code of what makes us tick, the psychology of human motivation. And that secret code, it actually has a name. It's called self-determination theory. It's a really powerful idea from psychology, and it basically says that for us to be truly motivated, to really thrive, 3 of our core psychological needs have to be met. So what are these 3 magic ingredients? First up is autonomy. This is that feeling that you're in the driver's seat making your own choices. Second is competence. That's the feeling that you're actually good at this, that you're making progress and achieving your goals. And third, and this one is so important, is belonging. That's the fundamental human need to feel connected with other people, to feel like you're part of a community. Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. This isn't just theory, it's practical. How can a platform actually do this? Well, to feed our need for autonomy, it can let us choose our own learning pace or what topics to tackle first. For competence, it's all about that feedback loop. Progress bars that fill up, little digital badges, certificates. And to create a sense of belonging, you need things like discussion forums and group projects that bring people together. And get this, the research shows this stuff really, really works. Just adding features that boost that feeling of competence, like quizzes that give you instant feedback, can crank up student engagement by more than 25%. That is a massive difference. And it's all driven by smart, psychologically informed design. Okay, so it sounds simple, right? Just build platforms that meet these needs. But it's not just about the student's experience. To really make this work, you have to look at the other side of the equation, the challenges facing teachers and the institutions themselves. I mean, think about it from a teacher's perspective for a second. Moving online can be absolutely brutal. The workload to create all new digital materials explodes. There's this constant pressure to learn new tech skills, and it is so much harder to build those real personal connections with students through a screen. Not to mention the stress of things like online cheating and just plain old tech fatigue. It's exhausting. And it's not just the teachers. The institutions, the schools and universities, they're facing their own huge hurdles. We're talking about things like spotty tech infrastructure, the massive challenge of figuring out how to teach effectively online, and making sure every single student has the right device and the skills to use it. And of course, all of this costs a ton of money. All right, so we've laid out the problems. It sounds tough for sure, but there is a way forward. So now let's talk about solutions. Let's talk about how we can build better learning experiences for everyone. So what's the game plan? Well, the sources point to a pretty clear 5-step roadmap. Number 1,
You have to invest in the infrastructure. You just need a solid, stable foundation. Number 2, focus on the user experience. Make these platforms easy and, dare I say, fun to use. 3, and this one is huge, empower the educators. Give them the training and support they need to succeed. 4, use learning analytics. Dig into the data to see where students are struggling and make things better. And finally, number 5, integrate new tech like AI, but do it wisely to create experiences that are truly personal and powerful.
And a really big part of that whole process, especially that user experience part, means we have to completely rethink something we all just take for granted: assessment. Because it's not just about the final grade anymore. Not even close. In a really well-designed digital world, assessment takes on a whole new job. Its biggest role, 40% of its value, is simply guiding improvement. It's like a compass, showing you where to go next. Then, it's about personalizing the learning path for you, and even motivating you to keep going. Yeah, ensuring quality is still in there, but it's a much smaller piece of the pie. Assessment becomes an engine for learning, not just a finish line.
And all of this brings us to the final and maybe the most important question. As our technology gets smarter and smarter, as we build these incredible platforms with AI and personalized learning paths, the biggest challenge we face isn't going to be technical. It's going to be human. How do we balance all this incredibly powerful tech with our deep, fundamental, and very human need for connection? Answering that one, well, that's going to define the entire future of learning.